Welcome back to our life out in the country. Today we're going to start installing an electric fence. We need a fence so that we can get a mule, and we need a mule so Ashley can be happy. So we got to do this. We chose to put up an electric fence because we need a kind of a semi-temporary solution until spring. We want to put in some solid like woven wire field fencing, but there's just no way to do that right now. So we chose to go with an electric fence, and I'll show you guys what we got.
We chose to go with a Polytape fencing, which is like a ribbon with wires going through it. And we got our charger and all the supplies that we're going to need for the T-posts and attaching the insulators to the trees. And we're all ready to go. We just need to put our T-posts in now.
Ashley just mentioned attaching it to the trees. We will be doing kind of a half T-post and half tree fence. We're going to use the trees because they're already in place and we can use them as a temporary fence line. We learned yesterday that it slows us down a lot to keep measuring each post as we go, so I just went ahead and marked the posts how far I want them to go down into the ground before we start. So this should speed up the process. We can just pound them in, go to the next one without keep measuring and measuring. Now if you didn't watch yesterday's video, go watch that. We put in 6 T-posts right here. We're kind of trying to meander through the trees and back to the clearing where we'll go across the tree line. We're almost there. We're going to put in a few more posts. Should go quick if it went as good as yesterday. And I think we're going to try to use the hand pounder today. We have the handheld driver, and then we also have a gas power driver that we just bought. I'm going to see how long I can go with this before I get worn out on it. I'm hot.
Yeah. Woo! We're good?
I think so. Yeah. We actually got all the T-posts in except for this one. I think this is the last one. We might do one more to fix a run that we did earlier. But
and then we've made it all the way around back to the barn.
Yep, and now we're almost ready to start running the tape. So that's cool. I'm starting to appreciate this thing so much more. If you watched our previous video, you'll know I was questioning whether or not this was a good investment. I'm really enjoying it because using the manual driver, man, I was getting hot. It really, you're not doing a lot of work, but it just wears you out quick.
I got hot.
And this thing is heavy to carry around, but it does the work so fast. We can just drop posts in quick. And I also seem to be putting them in straighter with this than I was with the hand post.
Yeah.
Hand driver.
And this will be better in the summer rather than doing the other kind.
Yep. Quick, efficient, get the work done. So I'm starting to really appreciate this. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It makes it fun. We're going to drive this post, and then I think we're going to start running our tape and showing you what the fence line is going to look like. We're going to do this kind of unconventionally, but we're going to start by just putting a rope up. We bought a yellow rope because the Polytape is white and black, and we just want to make sure we can see it. We're just trying to get as much done as we can because it's actually really warm today. It's like in the 40s.
The snow is melting.
Ashley stocked up the sled with all the supplies, and we're going to just slide this around with us and put it up. It should make everything a lot easier.
It's so handy.
Yep. We'll just tie it around here. Is that okay?
Yep.
And this isn't electrified. This is just a straight nylon rope, or I guess nylon. And we're just doing this for a visual so that we can see the electric tape.
Yeah, like a safety thing, because it's hard to see the white polytape against the white snow.
There.
Perfect.
So we're going to keep working on the rope, and then we'll come back. When that's all done, we're going to wrap it straight around the pasture that we created all the way back to the barn. We got a hook to the back of the barn. It's going all the way out here, all the way across, through there, all the way back here, and then back up. Now this is just a visual reminder of the fence.
So that nobody walks into a white blending in polytape.
Yep. The polytape is coming now. So here's the polytape close up. It's basically like a nylon-ish type of ribbon, but it has wire mesh, like a wire woven within the plastic. And this will be electrified. That's it.
Oh.
Good. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up for the night. We're going to try to finish this roll.
And then tomorrow we'll do the other two.
See you then. We're back at it, ready for line 2. We got the first one done. Really happy with how this came out. I think the rest is going to go super quick, so we're hoping we could just do the next 2. We're going to have 3 sets of wire here, so we're going to do the last 2 right now. I think it should go pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We're just going to be clipping these plastic T-post insulators on the T-posts. I think we're going to go about 12 inches apart for our 3 different strands. Tight. There we go. Ugh, they make these difficult.
We're finding it really difficult to get these on by hand. I don't know why they're so hard to go on, but Doug's going to be getting pliers and see if that'll help it go on better. I am just not able to do these at all, so, and we have a lot of these to do.
I don't know if there's a certain spot that I need to grab it.
Okay, that was semi-good.
Alright, after struggling for a couple of these, the plastic is just super hard to stretch over the T-post, but I think the pliers are going to make it a lot easier. I also just adjusted the height of these, so we're going to go back and lower those down a notch. We don't want to leave a lot of space under the fence once the snow is gone. But I think this one is done right, so this looks good.
Yeah. I can't do them really.
Well, they're difficult probably because the plastic's cold. But our technique is this. There it is. We are done getting all the posts all the way around, getting the insulators on them. Now we're going to go back up to the barn and get the end pieces on the barn, and we'll start running our tape. Take it easy, right? I think everything's ready. We got all the tensioners on the barn, and all the clips on the fences. We still got to put some clips on the trees, but we're going to do that as we go. So here's the start of our second run. Put it through, put it between, right? Is that right?
Yep.
Right there. The rest of this is going to be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. We're just going to be putting it in the clips on the fence posts and going all the way around until we get back to the barn. And when we're done, we'll come back and show you how it looks. We're making progress. Number 2 is all done. Got it going all the way around. I don't know if you guys can see it, but goes around all the way around the field. We're leaving the spools attached because we don't want to cut them short in case we want to use them someplace else in the future. We're gonna put some hooks on the back of the barn to hang the spools. I think that'll be okay for now. And hopefully this, because this is all temporary. This fence is not permanent, so we just don't want to cut up our polytape unnecessarily.
Number 3.
Huh?
Yep.
Well, there it is, guys. The fence is done. It looks so good. What do you say we walk around a little bit and show how it looks on the backside?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going over here. So you can see how we used a few trees in here where we could to save money on T-posts. And then turning this way, you can see it's pretty clear back here. A lot of room to walk around. And you got some trees in the middle. We got some cleanup to do. We're going to be doing cleanup soon. You can see this part, we really took advantage of the trees. Trees. So here's the furthest corner. So you can see the barn is way back there. We put double clips on the trees to get around them without making contact with the tree. Okay, I think we did good for our first time.
Came out super cool. So this is like the edge of our pasture here. So we just use the trees that come right along here.
So this step of the project is all done and it went really smoothly and really quickly. Actually, the fence went up quicker than I ever expected it to, so that was really cool. This is our first time setting up an electric fence like this, so it's been a pretty cool experience. Next step is putting the charger on the barn and getting it hooked up to the wire. The last stage of the fence install is to get that solar fence charger on the barn to energize the electric fence. Let me show you the charger we got and we'll get that hooked up. So here's the fence charger. We decided to go solar powered because we didn't want to run lead cords out across the yard and across the driveway. I think this is going to work perfect for our situation. It did come slightly damaged. The solar panel was actually broken off the whole unit, so we zip tied it on. I hope it still works. It should be okay. I'm going to be putting the charger up here. Probably up here. This is south, so we'll get the sun on it during the day. And we should be able to come right down and hook it to the fence. It just takes 2 screws on the back, so let's get that done. So this is to attach the wire to the polytape. It's just 2 plates of metal. I can separate them. We're just gonna sandwich it in like that. So this wasn't going as smoothly as we hoped. We had to lower down the charger to get the wires to reach. I could have spliced them, but we just wanted to use the wires as is, so it's not a big deal to drop that down.
Right now Doug is running the wire to the grounding rod.
Guys, I think the fence is done 100%. No, 99.8% done. We didn't have a clamp for the ground rod, so we got to pick one up. But the fence is basically done. We had to lower down the charger because it was too high for the wires to reach. That was fine. We ended up sending the charge. The hot wires are going to be the top one and the bottom one. And then we grounded we're going to ground the ground rod and this center wire. And that's because if the ground is dry or frozen like it is here, the animal can't always be well grounded, and that means when they touch the hot wire, they can't get a good shock because they're not completing that circuit. So we're going to be grounding out this middle wire so that even if they're not getting a good ground contact with the ground, if they touch these two wires, or the bottom, the middle and the bottom, they can still get that shock through that circuit they're creating right there. So even without the ground rod on, this fence will work as is if we turn it on, because this center wire is grounded. They won't get a shock just by touching the top wire, but if they touch both of them, if they're trying to push through the fence, they would get it. We're definitely going to get a ground rod clamp and clamp it on there. The previous owners had a ground rod in the ground already, so we're going to be using the pre-existing one. And if we're not getting a good enough connection, we can always throw another rod in the ground. That's not a big deal. But this is the job complete. It feels so good to get that done. And this is like our first real, like, getting toward animals project, and that's really cool. So there it is, job complete. We look forward to getting our animals. That's gonna be so fun. That's all we have for today. So thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
Bye.